Brisbane, Australia, a city proud of its great transit history. In the 1960s, Brisbane wanted a new Superbus, consisting of a British Leyland Panther chassis, an Australian-built body, and hints of American bus styling. It was designed to replace that city's trams. This is the story of Brisbane's bus of the future, the bus that appeared to have it all. Hi, this is Jeffrey, and in this video, we go to Australia, where we take a look at Brisbane's Leyland Panther buses. Now, these buses, to me, are very interesting because they have many things that are rolled into one. It's a bus that has a British Leyland Panther chassis, Australian-built bodies, and the styling looks like it was inspired by American buses of the 1960s. And it also has a lot of very interesting details to its history. So let's get started in taking a look at Brisbane's Leyland Panthers, the bus of the future. The Brisbane Panther story begins back in May of 1964 when the Brisbane City Council approved a bid from Leyland Motors for 40 Leopard underfloor engine chassis. Leyland also submitted an alternative proposal for their newly designed rear-engine chassis known as the Panther. The new model provided a low floor height, which was considered a very desirable feature. Leyland proposed to manufacture one Panther chassis to the Council's specifications for evaluation purposes at a cost of £5,246, which was accepted by the Council. On the 30th of August 1965, the prototype chassis was delivered to the Brisbane Council. Then, in October of 1965, the Council approved the order of 80 Panther chassis from Leyland a year before the prototype had even been placed into service for evaluation. This was mainly due to lengthened delivery times that had been experienced in previous orders. Additionally, the Council wanted to replace aging vehicles as well as dealing with the development of new outer suburban areas. However, what was not known at the time was that the decision had been made to replace the city's trams. The Council relied on the recommendation of an American consulting engineering firm, Wilbur Smith and Associates, to replace Brisbane's tram network with diesel buses. On the 7th of June 1966, the Council approved an increase in the original order of Panther chassis from 80 to 114. A further approval on the 30th of August of 1966 increased the number of chassis on order to 204 due to the introduction of express bus services on Belmont and Mount Gravatt tram routes, with further extensions in the near future. The prototype Panther body was completed by A.B. Denning & Company on the 8th of August of 1966, having taken 14 weeks to build. The body featured aluminum exterior paneling with ribbed anodized aluminum between cant and roof rails, front and rear fiberglass molds, double-width front and rear doors, motorized and ram ventilation, and top sliding windows. Additionally, the Panther chassis enabled a low entry height of 15 inches from the ground. Assigned Fleet Number 10, the vehicle was painted in a trial livery of Arctic white roof, Araluen blue band, and Zenith blue lower body. Interestingly, the bus was not too dissimilar from the North American New Look bus, manufactured by GM and Flexible, which was already in widespread use in the United States and Canada by the mid-1960s. Did the American consulting firm hired by Brisbane influence the design of their new bus? One can only speculate. Being it the only Panther in Australia at the time, the Council agreed to Leyland's request to display the vehicle at the Brisbane exhibition in August of 1966. For the next 3 months, the vehicle was subject to much evaluation and testing, both in and out of service. This included extensive performance testing to ensure the cooling system could handle temperatures ranging from 40 degrees Fahrenheit to 110 degrees Fahrenheit. On the 14th of November of 1966, number 10, also known as the Bus of the Future, was displayed in King George Square alongside number 344, a new Leyland Leopard. A public questionnaire was conducted in respect of the preferred color scheme, with 247 people voting for the zenith or darker blue of the Panther and 74 for the Araluen or lighter blue of the Leopard. Additionally, the public advocated for movable windows and padded seats. Previous generations of council buses had fixed lower windows and fiberglass seats. On the 28th of November of 1966, number 10 entered revenue service for the first time. On the 18th of October of 1966, the council called bids for the manufacture of 204 bus bodies for the Panther chassis. The required rate of delivery was 6 per week. The delivery of 204 buses in 12 months would prove to be the largest number of buses ever built in Australia in such a short period. When bidding closed on the 3rd of March of 1967, 3 Brisbane firms submitted offers, which were number 1, A.B. Denning and Company, number 2, Athol Hedges, and number 3, Freighter Industries of Queensland. The council considered the bid of Athol Hedges for $9,149.24 per body the most beneficial because they promised a supply of 4 vehicles per week. As a result, the council approved the bid from Athol Hedges for 204 vehicles on the 30th of March 1967 for a contract price of $1,866,444.96 plus a provisional sum of $50,000. On May 17th of 1967, the council advised the Coordinator General of Public Works that tram tracks were not required on the new Victoria Bridge. This escalated the need for buses to be delivered ahead of the bridge opening in early of April of 1969. In June of 1967, the council's transport department calculated that 324 buses would be required to replace the entire tram and trolleybus network. On the 11th of July of 1967, the council approved the acquisition of an additional 136 Panther chassis at the same price as the original order of 204 chassis. As bids for bodies had only recently closed, the council entered into discussions with the lowest bidder, A.B. Denning and Company, for the manufacture of bodies to these 136 extra chassis. On the 1st of August of 1967, the council approved a contract with A.B. Denning and Company for $9,070.15 per body, with delivery at the rate of 2 per week. In August of 1967, Leyland delivered the first Panther to Athol Hedges for bodying. The council requested a number of refinements for the 340 Panthers. These included tapered front and rear sections to improve maneuverability. Additionally, the vehicles were fitted with upholstered seats and contained full sliding side windows in the rear saloon. The vehicles were licensed to carry 82 passengers, consisting of 39 seated and 43 standing. Dimensions were a width of 98.5 inches and a length of 36 feet. Council engineers stipulated the use of aluminum wherever possible, even down to the anodized bell push strip, to reduce overall weight and prevent wear and tear to vehicles and roads. As such, these buses contained the highest percentage of aluminum of any metropolitan transit buses in Australia at the time. The design and construction process of these new vehicles did not prove to be a quick and easy job. This was reflected in Hedges' production time for the first vehicle, totaling 2,900 hours. By the 12th vehicle, production hours had been reduced to 1,070 hours, which was well in excess of the scheduled 630 hours for direct production time, plus approximately 220 hours for prefabricated parts. The first Hedges Panther, assigned fleet number 383, entered service on the 3rd of April of 1968. At the height of the contract, Athol Hedges, with the support of subcontractors, delivered an average of 6 Panthers a week. As the contract progressed, the council formally asked for an accelerated delivery program so that all 204 buses would be delivered by the 28th of March of 1969. This resulted in the council assisting Hedges by painting and finishing 30 buses at their Milton workshops. Likewise, the production of body frames increased at Commonwealth Engineering to achieve this expedited schedule. The first Panther built by Denning entered service on the 19th of August of 1968. By October of 1968, Hedges had created efficiencies within the production process, resulting in builds averaging 50 hours below what was originally planned. This provided the company with a healthy profit upon completion of the contract. The last Hedges Panther, number 722, was finished on the 28th of March 1969 and entered service on the 11th of April of 1969. This vehicle was numbered out of sequence to symbolically represent the last Panther being delivered for the last of the trams. When the last tram service operated on the 13th of April of 1969, a total of 74 Denning Panthers were on the road, with the last vehicle, Bus 721, entering service over a year later on the 15th of May of 1970. These vehicles were the largest fleet of Leyland Panther buses anywhere in the world. Currently, there are 3 restored Brisbane Leyland Panthers. All are part of the Queensland Omnibus and Coach Society's heritage fleet. The restored buses are number 498, a 1968 Athol Hedges bodied vehicle. What separates this bus from all the others of its kind is that Bus 498 was fitted with an experimental regenerative braking, storage, and propulsion system under trial by the University of Queensland's Department of Mechanical Engineering between 1984 and 1987. Number 721 is a 1970 Denning-bodied vehicle, and number 722 is a 1969 Athol Hedges bodied vehicle. So it's still possible today to catch a ride on one of these fabulous Brisbane Council buses. Now, not only is this a story about a bus, but it's also a story about policy in a way. Now, the city of Brisbane hired this American consulting engineering and planning firm to do a study of their transit system. And of course, the default answer from the American consulting firm was to get rid of the tram system and trolleybus system and to completely replace it with diesel buses. And that was the basic American policy throughout the 1950s and into the 1960s, because that's when pretty much most of America's trolley and trolleybus systems completely disappeared and only a handful were left. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this look at Brisbane's Panther buses. And as always, thank you so much for watching and have a great day. Bye.